Generally speaking, when we talk about 2014, few concerns and fears that comes to the young people's mind include the civil war, possibility of a civil war in Afghanistan, that the warlords and other factions in Afghanistan may again start internal war and conflict in Afghanistan. The other fear is the reemergence or the coming back of Taliban in power. People think that, in the absence of the international troops after 2014, there's a huge, strong possibility that Taliban may come back to power. Also, people think that the economic impact of 2014 withdrawal will be huge on economy, because Afghanistan is dependent on international support and funding, and there will be an impact on economy. However, there's a big number of youth in Afghanistan who also look at 2014 as an opportunity, and there's enough and sufficient reasons to believe that 2014 is overrated, and there are opportunities, which some of them include, for example, the capacity, the growing capacity of Afghan national security forces, which they are not only doing very good in battles today, but also they have earned the respect and confidence and trust of Afghan people and the youth, of course. People also think that there's a growing sense of a responsibility among Afghans, but also a sense of Afghan identity, and that will reduce chances of the warlords and other parties in Afghanistan to take Afghanistan back to civil war. And lastly, of course, the growing sense of activism, active citizenship, and responsible citizenship among Afghans, which I think diminishes the possibility of Afghanistan going back to civil war or the emergence of Taliban. And of course, Taliban has no place in Afghanistan among the public opinion of Afghans, particularly youth. So all those, well, there are some concerns, but there are enough sufficient reasons to also believe that 2014 is overrated, that some of the concerns about 2014 are not based on the realities of Afghanistan. As an Afghan youth and as Afghan youth activist, I believe any negotiation with a group that has been engaged in terrorism, that all Afghans, including myself, have experiences of living under them, which are difficult and hard. And I think any negotiation with such a group is a mistake. The only way that we can bring peace in Afghanistan is to fight with terrorists, but those who accept Afghanistan's constitution and the achievements of the last 12 years in Afghanistan, and believe in human rights and women's rights, and believe in dignified, stable and prosperous Afghanistan, the government and the international community could possibly have a discussion and negotiation with them. But unless they don't accept the Afghanistan constitution, the current order, and they're not, those that have committed crimes are not punished, I don't think a negotiation would result in a stable peace. The upcoming presidential election is the most critical, important process that's going to happen next year for Afghanistan. It's important because it's the first time that Afghanistan is going to have a peaceful transition of power from one administration to the next. It's important because election is a key part of a democratic process, and it will sustain and maintain the achievements of the past 10 years. I think given that youth are the majority of Afghanistan population, they can play an important role in the success of this process. Key challenges facing Afghan youth today are, well, the first one is education. A lot of Afghan youth do not have access to both primary, secondary, and higher education, particularly in the rural and remote provinces. Even those who have access to elementary education and higher education, they can't. There's no capacity for them to be accepted in universities. That's one problem. And the other issue is that when there is education, it's not relevant. The system and the content of education is not relevant to the current needs of Afghanistan. Therefore, those who even get education, they can't apply those in the marketplace. The second problem is with unemployment. Majority of Afghan youth, around 35 to 40% of Afghanistan youth, are today unemployed. I think this poses a serious concern and challenge, both in terms of that they cannot contribute to the economy, to the country, but also it can be a source of frustration and disenchantment among Afghan youth. The other problem that Afghan youth have is the lack of trust. Those youth who have been educated, who have been involved in the last 10 to 12 years in Afghanistan's development, they see an increasing pressure from the society. Given Afghanistan is a traditional society, youth is not seen as influential and as being able to contribute effectively. These are sort of the main challenges that youth in Afghanistan face. How we can address this? First, education. Access to education is key to the success of Afghanistan, is key to the empowerment of youth. So we need to invest in education both in the rural areas but also in higher education. Second, we need to make sure that we provide sustainable economic opportunities for Afghan youth so that they can be employed and contribute effectively to the economy. Third, we need to trust the youth. We need to invest in them, we need to trust them, we need to support them so that they can realize their potential and contribute to the development of the country. Well, there's certainly need for more investment. More investment in education, more investment in health, more investment in political processes. All of them will, given that Afghanistan's most of the majority of the population are youth, all of these investments is going to contribute to the empowerment of Afghan youth. Also, I think there's a need for international community to help the Afghan government to provide more space and opportunity for youth engagement in decision-making process and political process. Youth need to be trusted, they need to be empowered, they need to be engaged in the political process